Today, we get some practical advice and tips from Danny Clark on how he manages his line of credit for his contracting business.
I remember a little story on that line of credit situation. I went to the bank to get a line of credit, and you've got to meet all these parameters. I didn't know. Obviously, trial and error.
Yeah.
Go, you got to be in business this long, this much revenue, all that kind of stuff, to set the guidelines for it. After I got past all of that, I got a line of credit, and I didn't use it for 2 years. I've had a line of credit for 7 years.
Okay.
I use it all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
So what do you use it for?
Sometimes, depending on, how we are, cash flow wise, every business goes up and down. It's never perfect, right?
Right. Never can't predict all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's a process for that. You got a cash flow.
That's right.
Getting better, right? But sometimes we have to pay our vendors on a job so we can get paid. So say there's a check for $100,000, which is very good. There's a check for $100,000. Contractor calls us, hey, we need to pay. Okay.
There's a check, and I'm sorry, it's a check for you.
It's a check to Clark Electric for the previous month's work on a particular project.
Got it.
They will not release us that check until we provide vendor lien releases from all the suppliers we used to do that work for that month, through that month, right? So maybe there's $50,000 worth of vendor bills we have to pay to get paid. We got to pay to get paid, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe we don't have the cash. Maybe it's tighter on payroll that week or whatever the case may be. Maybe there's 5 jobs at the same time that are ready to pay, and you got to pay $250,000, right? And depending on the month, you might pay 50 to get 60, which sounds really bad, but the next month you might pay 10 to get 100, right? It all depends on the monthly billing and how that works out. There's another process for that.
Yeah, that's right.
to make it even, right? So you don't get caught in those positions. But if you do, that line of credit, I can call my bank, email my bank, hey, I need $50,000. Boom, $50,000 in my bank account. Pay my vendors
from the line of credit.
Pay my vendors.
Okay.
Here's the money. Give me the lien release, Mr. Contractor.
Yep.
There's your lien releases. Give me my check in the bank, cashes, clears, pay back your line of credit.
Boom.
That's it.
Net 50.
I use their money to get my money, right?
Got it.
So, and there's other things you can do. You can put on a credit card. You can do that. Right. You can do this. You can, pay one to get a check. Use the proceeds from that check to pay more to get another check. It's not using the money from one job to fund another job. That's not what I'm talking about. It's really just a cash flow perspective on, we've got to buy a bunch of material up front to do this job to get paid.
Right.
I got to borrow the 100 to pay the vendor to buy that material to go do that job.
And it seems like that same principle could be utilized with a smaller contractor.
Yes.
Right. I mean, it doesn't matter if you had $1 million in revenue, or even $500,000 in revenue, or you're doing smaller projects, but you're still doing residential builds, and those same numbers, same percentages, different numbers.
It's all relevant.
It's $1,000 to $500. Right. And then you have your cash. So it's a cash flow management tool.
It's a cash flow management tool,
cool.
And we use it all the time.
Gotcha.
All the time.
Gotcha. Yeah. Excellent.
I don't think we'd make it without it. And I think there's a lot of businesses out there that will tell you the same thing.